Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show.
Where are you?
I'm fucking stuck in Cleveland with this huge ass storm coming through, and I'm stuck in this hotel room till Saturday.
Uh, okay, because it looked like the inventory room of a thrift store for a second. And I'm like,
What?
wait,
Thrift
where are
store? Look,
you?
this ain't no thrift store.
No, that's not a thrift store. No, that's nice. But yeah, I don't know where you are. Somewhere in our beautiful country is
I'm
Rob.
stuck in fucking Cleveland. That's where I am.
Okay, he's in, you heard the word, comma, Cleveland. I'm in the city of
Fucking
angels and
Cleveland.
okay.
Fucking
And we are,
Ohio.
deep breath, deep breath. We are streaming live. Yes, we are streaming
From
live to
fucking
live.
Ohio and LA.
We are streaming live, Rob, live to Live Paranormal and the Pair Awakening. Welcome to our international listeners. Thank you for joining us, even after that intro. Rob, why are you where you are?
Because I'm fucking stuck because of this damn storm.
You're in a good mood.
I'm
That's
drunk.
good.
I've had a few
Okay.
beers.
So already going to be that type of show. Why are you where you are? Please understand my question. Why are you where you are? We want to know.
Because there's a big storm coming through. My flight, I was going to fly out to Orlando tomorrow.
No. Why are you in a hotel? Forget it.
No, what?
Why are you sitting on the bed in a hotel room?
Because my flight was canceled.
Okay, so your flight was canceled. Now,
Yeah.
how long are you going to be in this hotel room? What?
Right now, as of right
For the
now,
duration of the show, I know you're going to be here, but why?
No.
How long are you going to be in effing Cleveland, Ohio?
either Friday or Saturday.
Okay. Now, what are your options? Are you coming right back here to Los Angeles? Are you going?
So check this out. So I booked a flight earlier today to fly from Cleveland to Orlando.
Okay.
I was going to hang out with a friend of mine and fly out Saturday to LA. My original flight is from Cleveland to LA Saturday.
Okay.
So I was going to cancel that flight. So I booked a flight today. An hour later, the flight was canceled.
Okay. So that's why you are where you are
That's why I am where I am.
at current time. Okay.
Yep.
I still suggest maybe if you can, maybe skip over to Orlando, even for a day, if you can.
That's the option. That wouldn't be happen until Friday if I did that. So
Okay.
I'd be there, enjoy the what, 10 hours, 11
Right.
hours, and then before I have to go to bed and wake up at 5 to catch a flight at 7 or 8 to go back to LA. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and there's no chance you could get over to ride Velocicoaster.
No.
No. Islands of
Not in
Adventure.
that
No.
short of time.
Well,
Not in
then
that
what's the
short
point?
period of time.
Well, then what's the point, Rob? But at any rate, all we care about, will we have live 3 a.m. ITC sessions on Saturday?
That's still up in the air depending on my flight. I mean,
Okay.
in theory, we should because I'll be getting in LA at 10. My time clock is all screwed up. I don't go to bed till like 5 in the morning since I don't have to work till 10 Pacific time. So, yeah, my clock's all screwed up.
Well,
You could go to bed at 4 and get 6 hours sleep, which is all I need. So I do normally go to bed about 3,
sure.
3 or 4. Since
Well,
I've
then
been
we'll keep everyone updated about the show. We'll kind of tentatively plan it, but just understand that we're having logistical difficulties at the moment.
So yeah, right now it's 11:07 here, so I'll still be up for another 5 hours.
Good. Okay. Well, I know we discussed and at various times we had tried stay in contact with each other. Rob and I had the last 2 weeks have just been, and I'm sure for a lot of people, but just been a tornado for many reasons. But in our sporadic communication, we did address the Saturday show, this past Saturday show.
Yeah.
to some degree. And I had a chance to hear the first reverse session live. And then I listened back when I had a chance, kind of again in blocks and segments and time periods, listening to the Blu-ray. And then when you did a forward, which surprised me, which was really cool, you did a forward session, which was really refreshing because we hadn't heard that in a long time.
That's why I did it.
And there were just a lot of pivotal moments I noticed where it just seemed like, and not even to be specific about the communication, but it definitely seemed like, especially during Blu-ray, that there was an acknowledgement of an awareness of each other. And especially the one really pivotal moment in Blu-ray when I heard them say, "Who is he?" Do you remember that moment? And it got quiet after that. Like there was some voice that said, "Who is he?" And then it got quiet. And the communication really got quiet for a period of time. And it was odd because the way the question was pronounced and the silence afterward really makes you wonder what was the intent behind that. If we use our imagination here, were they scouting you? Was there someone new there checking out you or us? Who is he? And then kind of got quiet, like there was some type of observation going on, right? And it really gave me the chills listening to that. But there's some other really amazing moments in that session that really made it seem like there was an intelligent awareness playing off of you and the group. It was very interesting. Right. Do you have thoughts on that session?
You know what Chantel really brought to fruition that night? That's what she did. So
that was the observation you guys noticed?
Yep. She was waiting for you to give you one of those.
I see. So you actually heard that in the communication?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It was coming through the chat loud and clear.
The Indiana Jones whip crack.
Whip on your assless chaps.
On the assless chaps. Of course. I anticipate they're going to play back with us and follow through with those themes from time to time. So I'm not surprised. Right. Well, give me some of your thoughts on how you thought the sessions went, because I know you had.
Honestly, on a serious note, I think a lot of things went very well. Hold on. I'm trying to pull out a mouse pad. This thing's like.
Yeah, I got headphone cords going everywhere too. I don't know how this happened, but it just happened all of a sudden.
Well, I'm set up on my new MacBook in the hotel room on their Wi-Fi, and hopefully I'm glad that the Wi-Fi is decent.
On your Mac.
Yep.
Mac. Triple M cubed?
On my $5,000 computer.
Right. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah. Woo. Is that baby going to depreciate?
So yeah, it was pretty interesting. So here was the thing is, I threw some kind of curveballs, something that I haven't done in a while. So that's why I wanted to try something different. And when we did that, it was pretty amazing. I was pretty amazed with the results that we got. Even in the reverse sessions, what's weird? I haven't done reverse sessions in so long that even though I was doing them at the same sweep rate as I normally was, where it was like the sweet spot, it seemed like it was too slow. I got to speed it up. Drop it down to under 100 megahertz or milliseconds. So I played around with it afterwards, and dropping it down to under 100 milliseconds, I'm like, holy crap, this is even better. Yes, it's super fast, but the results were even better. So that kind of opened up a new can of worms for me. I'm like, maybe I'm going to have to do some in even faster scan rate. And like I said, some of the results were just amazing.
I noticed that. And normally we're usually rolling at like, what, 160 milliseconds?
It's 158 milliseconds.
Okay. So I rounded. Okay, yeah. So 158 milliseconds. And the fact that it was sped up and the communication really seemed to, I was able to adjust easily. In other words, if you normally told me you were going to do that, I would say, no, leave it at that same speed, but I adjusted easily and I heard the communication come through. And it's interesting that maybe 2 sessions of different speeds could be tried or experimented with.
Right. Right. Um, no, I'm standing at the window. There's actually paintings on the wall, just not there. I mean, if I turn the camera, there's lots of paintings on the wall. I'm just sitting where the desk is, and yeah, there's no paintings behind me, but there's one in front of me and then a bunch on the sides of me. It's just funny how they're kind of sporadic, but
I was wondering what you were looking at. Maybe you heard something in the room. So you
no, I mean,
turned quickly, like, yeah.
no, the room's actually really nice. It has hardwood floors. Yeah, it's a really nice room.
There seems to be a, a theme that's carrying some type of continuity in the chats about us having wood. I have no idea how that ties in or how
Oh,
that
I
even
know
came. How's that? Of course. Of course. Of course. I'm only allowing this on the Wednesday show because you're going to be stuck in 2 feet of snow in, as you
Oh,
say, quote,
okay.
effing Cleveland. So I'll let you have this one.
So since I've been here, we've had about 48 inches of snow.
I guess we're done talking about the Saturday show. Go ahead.
I got here on the 22nd of January. Day after, the funny thing is, day after the Saturday show, I caught an early morning flight. I'd left after the Saturday show. I took a shower. Oh no, I went to bed, got up at 2:30 in the morning, left my house at 3:30, got to the airport by 5, and caught a flight out here. So
those are awful things to do that early in the morning.
Yeah,
that really doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
After Saturday night show.
Oh, God.
So, and I didn't get off the show until what, 2 in the morning. So yeah,
it was late.
I literally got an hour's sleep, and I didn't even sleep on the plane out. So yeah, it was crazy. So it was a long day. And the day after I got here, it started dumping snow. It snowed almost the whole time I was here.
So there's really no chance for you to even go investigate anywhere or even rent a car or do anything. I mean, you're going to be stuck right where you are.
The first night I was here, we went out drinking. I got pretty damn drunk. And that was after no sleep. I don't think I went to bed until like 5 in the morning the next day. So,
jeez, Rob, you can't do that.
Yeah, I woke up and I was hungover.
I need you sharp, Rob. This is not going to fly for too much longer.
So, but we still hung in there and we did the Wednesday night show. Now here we are doing the Saturday night show. So
no, this is the Wednesday night show.
Or Wednesday night show. We did Wednesday, Saturday, and now today. So we're still on track. So we haven't missed a show yet. Saturday, I don't know. I might have to just take a break, depending on my travel time.
We're hanging on by a thread, like not missing shows. We're just eking them through. So that's, yeah. So this is technically the Wednesday show with some Saturday flavor, minus live ITC sessions. Unless Rob just starts doing that, then I guess we have a Saturday show.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally if you're new and you're listening, we do have guests on Wednesday show. We, again, are having some logistical difficulties. Rob's in a hotel room in Cleveland, stuck in snow for God only knows why, what reason, but that's where he is. And so we don't have guests right now. So thanks, Rob.
Hey, this is the first time I've ever gone on a vacation and freaking lost weight on a vacation.
I know.
Normally it's the other way around. You normally gain weight.
You needed to get, I'm glad you went on vacation. I'm glad you took time. I really am. Much needed.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
So what else in terms of the Saturday show? I'm going to try and circle back here really quick. But a lot of the themes we talked about was and please correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't mean to exaggerate any points. This is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But it does appear like, even in the reverse sessions in the Blu-ray, and I attribute this more to the consistency in the group energy, but the level of awareness from, quote, them, unquote, and I just say them to include anything and everything we think it might be or could be or possibly be. But there does seem like not only is the level of awareness more intense, but it's more obvious, it seems like to me. I feel like the answers are timed more reasonably in a way that we would perceive them as a reasonable response a time of response to one of our questions. And it also appears like there's more color and character in the voice and there's more intent. Whereas sometimes responses in reverse sound like maybe a little more robotic or AI, lacking emotion. It seems like the responses now more carry more emotion. And I hope I'm describing that right. I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion. I don't even know if that makes
No,
sense, but
no, it does. But here's the thing. I think I need to work on some things a little bit more. Um, I have some ideas, and I just need to work on them. Um, I just brought what I could with me. Um,
thanks, Vitrina.
some of the technology I was still using. That's what I ran on the show. Um, but there's some work to be done, and I was just talking about something. So there's I'm going to work on something, but I'm going to be working on a piece of hardware, and it's going to be going to somebody for that person to do some testing with.
Nice.
So just because there was a couple of things that happened, um, I don't think I really want to share what I mean. It was, let's just say that something came to communicate with me and was trying to give me some answers to some unfinished business, and it was freaky. Something it was both visual and it was both there was both communication, verbal communication, and there was also other communication done through technology, and it freaked me the hell out.
Wow.
It was trippy. I've never seen anything like it or experienced anything like it.
As a result of this experience, did did this experience motivate you to create this new piece of hardware? Or is this something that was already maybe in the back of your mind, but this just
It was in the
pushed?
back of my mind already,
Okay.
but this is getting me to push forward with it. And the communication was for somebody, and it totally made sense because the way that this person was always communicating with this person, that's how he was trying to communicate with me, and I
Okay.
didn't put the pieces of the puzzle together until they explained to me what how he would communicate. I was like, holy shit, that's what it is.
Oh, that's
um,
no, I'm
because as an
excited. Yeah.
outsider you just seen something like in the ether, like just floating, like these little, they looked like little plates, but they were glowing, and it was like a chat bubble. Let's just put it that way.
Oh,
Like
okay.
in the chat
Sure.
here, that's
Okay.
what they were, but they were like a glowing bluish gray color, and you couldn't read the text, but you saw that there was something there. It was almost like they use a blur tool, like what they use in video production,
Hmm.
to blur out somebody's face or blur out a title or something, because they don't have the rights, or they didn't get the permission slip to release the footage, so they'll blur it out. That's what it looked like.
Would you say, in a way, it was holographic in nature in terms of how it was
Yeah.
projected into the room in a three-dimensional space?
Yep.
Okay. Wow. That's incredible. So your equipment, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's back up here. This may not be a device for audio-based ITC. This could be a visual device. Is that correct?
No, with what I'm developing, no,
Okay.
it'll still
Okay.
be audio, but
Okay.
what
Okay.
I was seeing, the things that were being displayed to me and communicated to me with, no, it was visual, and it was weird. It was strange.
My gosh.
I
That
have
is
never seen anything like that. Nobody's ever tried to communicate like that with me. But
yeah,
but
specifically in a text
this
bubble type imagery.
And I described what the person looked like. I mean, I saw like an image. I saw the height. It was almost like looking at a silhouette. And you know how there's certain features you can see in the silhouette. And you can kind of describe the build, the height. You can see maybe some facial features a little bit. Um, and that's what I saw. And so when I explained this to the person about what I saw, um, she was like, "Okay, that's about the right height. That's about the right build." And then when she told me how he would normally communicate, I was like, "Holy shit, that's it." Made sense. Nail on the head.
So this is something not only did you witness personally, but the person that these messages were directed to or for has also
Yep.
witnessed this.
And the
Okay.
messages that I did receive totally made sense of what happened to this person. It was just the other messages that he was trying to communicate, I couldn't see. Probably because they weren't meant for me. I don't know. But there was two specific things that were said were meant for this person. And I told this person that, and they were just like, what? You know, a little thrown off by it.
That's incredible. I don't know that I've heard an experience so detailed and the messages being portrayed, although I would never think it's impossible. I never, I guess, would have assumed that more or less a 3D holographic image of a text bubble, if you will, with text inside of it, literally, would
But
be
I couldn't
portrayed. But
read
that,
the text. I could not read the text.
right. Like you
Like
said, it
I
was
said, it was like
blurred.
there was a blur. You can see that there was some text there, but you couldn't read it because it was blurred out.
That's incredible. Uncelebrity Kevin Hart just wanted to make sure you weren't hallucinating while drunk in Cleveland. That
Nope.
wasn't a hallucination, or okay.
Nope. There's
Thank you.
no alcohol, no drugs involved, nothing. It was, and I, it's like anything else. I'm woken up from a deep sleep. And then I wake up and I was like, what? And I'm seeing this person. You know, when you get that feeling when you're being stood over, like somebody's standing over you. That's what woke me up.
Right.
And then I saw that person standing in front of me. It's like, oh shit. And then just kind of focused in. And then I was like, can I help you? You know, what's going on? You know, how can I help you? And then I got the message, two messages. And then after those two messages came through, he vanished. But then there was these bubbles. There was four of them.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
one would come up and then it disappear. Another one would come up, disappear. And you could tell that there was messages in different lengths because you can see what was there, but they were blurred out.
And they were timed to our dimension. It would
Right.
appear like, one would last, I'm just guessing here, I'm trying to follow you, like maybe for 5 seconds and then disappear. And the other one would
About
arrive.
that,
Okay.
roughly.
But timed for our dimension so that we could perceive it, right? Because if there's no
Right.
time where these messages are coming from, there would be no need to have them show up in a certain order. But here
Right.
they are left for you to observe in a certain order.
Right.
If you could make out the text, that is. I know that it was blurred. That's incredible. Rob, first of all, happy birthday, Purple. Happy birthday.
Birthday purple. God, that was a tongue twister.
I know. And Joe says that happened to him as well. He had a similar experience. Joe, if you'd like to detail
Really?
that, we can read it aloud on the
Where
show.
was it? I didn't even see it.
Joe says, Josh, I had the same thing happen. So I'm curious, Joe, if you want to detail that, we'd love to hear about it. That's incredible, Rob. So follow through with this. How many of these text bubbles did you see? 3 or 4?
Four.
And the person that's also witnessed this without you there, would they report the same description, the same experience?
That person did not witness it. I explained what happened the next morning.
Okay.
It took a little bit of me saying, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I say anything?
Now, were you doubting what you saw, or were you questioning the impact it would have on the receiver?
The impact.
Okay.
It
Okay.
didn't happen. But we did do a ghost box session.
Mhm.
Um, and some of the ghost box session did correspond to that person's name, the person that came through. Um, that person's name did come up, and the messages came through. What was said, and then there was some other pieces that kind of I was still like, I don't know, because I didn't see the messages. I couldn't see them, but they were coming through on the ghost box, so I couldn't say, well, is that person trying to say these were the messages?
Right.
You know, it kind of made sense, but it's up to the other person because those messages aren't for me, they're for somebody else.
Right.
And that's what he told me. This person needs to understand it wasn't their fault. This person needs to understand this.
Okay.
So there are messages given to me for me to relay to somebody else.
Rob, first of all, this is fascinating. This is really the first time I can recall, and I could be wrong, that I've heard of something like this that you've described to me. Uncelebrity Kevin Hart has some interesting information. Let me read this real quick. You can keep Joe's comment up, but Uncelebrity Kevin Hart says Don Hoffman explains it as the icons of the interface. Essentially, so maybe some degree the icons were being used to communicate that information, or the theory is that you saw the icons of the interface. I have a friend that believes we're interfacing with the command prompt, if you will. That's just his theory. I mean, so I kind of understand what Uncelebrity Kevin Hart is saying about what Don Hoffman is saying. And he also says, Deb, this also shows up as the glitches in the Matrix. So I wonder, is it a stretch of the imagination to think that they can manipulate the Matrix or the simulation to get these messages across by interacting with the interface?
I don't know.
It's a lot of imagination right there. Not a lot of proof, but I mean, I believe you, Rob, because other people have experienced this, and we've all had just incredibly unexplainable things happen to us in the paranormal. That's why we're all here. So I definitely believe it. But yeah, what could that be, and how is that manipulated? It's incredible.
So, okay, and here's the thing. So I'm like, okay, where have I seen this before? Because with an iPhone, the messages they're smaller, right? And they're rounded. And I said, wait a minute. I know like the Android, they have different chat apps and the messages are more square, kind of like here in these chat boxes, right? Like I'm just gonna throw up any random message.
Right.
All right. So don't get offended if I pull up a message. I'm just pulling one up. Well, you can't see it here because the way that hold on one second. Let me change the interface. Hold on one second. Kind of like this. Well, no, more like
Well,
this. Let me see.
yeah.
Anyway, so kind of like how Josh's and I our name is coming up in our box, right? In the box. So see how Josh's, but let's just say that these had rounded corners.
Okay.
But the boxes were pretty big. They were pretty large. So if you look in the chat, just take one of those chat bubbles. See how they're rounded, but they were like a different color. They were more like a steel blue, I want to say. And they were glowing. That was the weird part. They were glowing. Um, but yeah, that's what I experienced. It was just very different, something I've never seen before, something I've never experienced before. But damn it, I wanted to read the messages, but
Right.
they were blurred out.
Edward says occult theory, all are parts of the divine. All parts of the divine can alter reality through will. That's, you know what, Edward, and I wonder if we just really, none of us really know our own true powers yet. Even those that are attuned to what powers we do have and what we can do. Maybe there's just some things we will eventually achieve or get to. I believe that. Uncelebrity Kevin Hart says Rob is given information and he interprets the data as his mind brain best sees it to understand the message. Excellent point.
Yeah.
Excellent point. Right, Edward. We are just children.
Joe says too much Blu-ray. They're calling you.
Joe.
But it's strange.
Actually,
and there was
yeah.
two other events that did happen, but I am not going to share those events.
Well, okay. Thank you for telling us you had two other events that you had share. Okay, well, let's just move on.
Yeah. I mean, it freaked me out, both of them, but I was like, wow, that one, just seeing a flash of light where there's no light source that is even coming into the room.
Right.
And it's actually behind a closet door that's open, and just my angle, the way that I saw it is where I saw it.
When did this happen?
I was like,
when did this happen?
This morning.
Oh my gosh. So this activity is all connected to a certain source, I imagine, correct? Yeah. These weren't random events at random locations around Ohio.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So
same source, same location, same everything.
So now I understand, now that you've explained a little bit of this, the desire now to build this device, be it audio, but to build a device, have this person that's at the location or close to it or can access it, test the device and find or try and reveal more answers to what amazing experiences it sounds like you've already had. And this person has already had.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I certainly hope you show it to me before you mail it, or at least do a Zoom call.
The funny thing is this person kind of explained to me that hears voices as soon as something's turned on. As in a hairdryer, as in a fan, as in an air conditioner, anything that has that low frequency. Mm-hmm. Now that low frequency, if you're clear audient, meaning you can hear voices through frequency, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, and she is a sensitive, but she never explained in what realm. I think she's a clear audient because she does hear voices when certain things are turned on.
Right.
I'm more of a clairvoyant. I'm not a clairaudient. I never hear voices unless I'm working with frequency also. But when that does happen, everybody else hears the frequency also. That's because I'm working with certain frequencies that do draw out that communication.
Right. And we have, not only that, but we have Roland. He's on the show this evening, and I've been following his progress. He's been doing work along Angeles Crest Highway and over by the Devil's Gate area of the freeways and running ghost box sessions, but overlaying 400 hertz, 141 hertz, different frequencies, and finding very interesting results as those vibrations help amplify that communication, and you can hear those voices a lot better. So he's having some tremendous results, and he's posting it.
And that's how Blu-ray came about.
Right.
Same exact way.
Right. And I think that's forgotten in ITC, and I love radiophony and radio-based ITC. In fact, it was at the forefront of this research with, as we talk about Frederick Jurgensen, Dr. Konstantin Radova, interfrequency recording, it's always been there. And I love that. And I will always be a tool that I use. But I think we forget so often that very simplistic methods of frequency and tone and vibration, voices will amplify through those combinations, through stochastic and inverse stochastic resonance. And Roland's working with that. The person you're talking about, hearing voices through the hairdryer or when anything's turned on. I do believe there's a clear audience. I don't want to call it a skill. Is it something you're born with? Is it something you can learn? I think that does add to it. I think that does help hear those voices, but
I think you're more born with that ability, and then you have to either somebody's, I mean, you're going to be born with it, but it's either you're going to develop it or you're going to push it aside like anything else. I
That's what I
mean,
meant to say is
everybody
right.
is, has psychic abilities. It's whether you decide to turn it on or turn it off or keep it on. And then if you keep it on, then you're going to have to, you're going to need to, I guess, learn how to develop that and how to interpret what you're feeling. It's work. It's like anything else.
Well stated. Develop. That was the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah, develop that.
You're going to have to develop your skill.
Right.
It's just like with me. I mean, I knew I was psychic or I had abilities, but I always downplay it, um, because I didn't know what it was,
Right.
and because I didn't know how to validate my findings. But then once I had a sounding board, like, hey, what does this mean when this happens? And then they were like, well, shit, and then they would kind of give me the breakdown. So then you have to just chud. You're never 100% accurate, but you have to follow your gut and just say, well, this is what I felt and this is what I'm going with. And you can't, if you follow your gut instinct and, sometimes you want to follow your heart, but your heart's going to lead you the wrong way because there's, I guess, God, what am I trying to say? Um, because that's what you want to feel, but that's not your gut feeling is telling you what is the truth,
Right.
and so you just have to follow your gut feeling, and if you're wrong, you're wrong, and you just have to take that as, okay, I screwed up, that wasn't what I was feeling, and you just have to move on, and that's how you learn by your mistakes.
Right. Yeah, isn't that interesting? So often we're afraid to fail, but looking back over my life, my biggest failures were those things that I turned into lessons and used to make something more successful the next time. Learn from that and move forward. So I understand what you're saying. You get better by learning and trial and error. Sometimes that's failing.
Yeah, but that's how we learn. I mean,
Right.
as human nature, I mean, that's how we learn. We learn from our mistakes. You're
That's
like,
true.
okay, I'm not doing that again.
Right. Right.
So, but sometimes it's trial and error. Okay, well, I was close this time. Maybe next time I'll be more accurate. And it's just like anything else. You have to work on your skill,
Right.
and even in time, it's going to develop.
Nora had an interesting comment here. Rob, can you put that up really quick? Because this happened to you and I feel like a few other people at some point. It's Nora's last comment. Thank you very much. Nora says, I heard Blu-ray just listening to regular videos on Facebook. I had my headphones on. Think it came through my headphones. Freaked me out. Nora, you know what's really interesting? At first, when Rob told me he had this experience, I was kind of like, wait, what? What are you talking about? It just happened during some random time through some random piece of equipment. But a few other people have reported hearing Blu-ray come through, whether it's, a different radio, whether just listening for pleasure or internet radio, if you will. Others, Rob, elaborate, please. But other circumstances, people have heard Blu-ray come through.
Case in point.
I knew you had a case in point. That's why I asked you. I knew you had like a really powerful experience.
The person that I came out to visit here in Ohio, was doing a ghost box session and was using a recorder. She tried two different ghost boxes. She tried an SB7. It recorded no problem. As soon as the radio that I built for this person, I sent it, she tried that box. There was no, and that's radio does have a little bit of static, just a little, because it's a Sangen radio. You know that.
I
So
have one. Yeah.
it scans well.
Yeah,
There's not
it
a
does.
whole lot of static. it's fairly
Oh,
quiet
it's
for
a great radio. Yeah. I love
so
it.
she was doing that, recording it, and during playback, there was zero static and everything was coming in like it was Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's that's a very
I mean, I
powerful
do
thing to
have
witness.
I
That
think I do have some of the recordings.
it's a really powerful thing to witness because Nora has reported that. You have reported that. This person has reported it. It hasn't happened to me, but I'm
Well, here was the thing. So with
oh, Vitrina
with
says it's happened to her.
with it wasn't only I was kind of giving her a lesson on how to use um I was helping her do some other things on her computer, and
Mhm.
she was like, "Well, since we're on, why don't we just do a ghost box session? We'll
Mhm.
just because I think we're using Zoom."
Oh, right.
And I was like, "Okay." And so we were kind of just doing a ghost box session together on the Zoom session. And I said, okay, hit record on your recorder. Um, and we did that, and then that's what happened. And we played it back, and we're like, "Holy crap, what the hell is that?" And she was like, "That's weird." So we tried it again, and we're able to replicate it. I was like, "Well, maybe it's a audio recording software. Let's load up something else." And I think we did. We tried it, and same thing happened. So I said, "All right, get the SB7." We tried it, came out perfect. Get that other radio out. Let's try it again. Same thing. We're like, and then she's like, "Okay, don't hit record. Let's just do it over Zoom." Didn't happen.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Interesting.
well, maybe it's a
It,
recording software.
right. Yeah.
So so I G2A'd, or I was on Zoom, so we did a screen share, and I took a look at all the settings, adjusted
Right.
everything. I was like, it's perfect. So I tried to replicate it on my side. I couldn't do it.
Interesting. Okay.
But you have to remember that location, it's weird. Oh, then we
It,
tried it again, and then it wasn't happening anymore.
so was I don't want to say it was situational, but it wasn't anything that had a lot of continuity.
No.
But this is the same area in which you've seen the text bubbles,
Yeah.
which you've never seen before. So a lot of firsts in this area. That's a lot of energy. And I know where you've investigated. I know how long you've been doing this. So to say that and to consider already the energy it would take to, I mean, to manipulate the audio in that way and or for you to see the text bubbles is magnificent. I mean, I can't really find words for it because I haven't really heard of these things happening. I mean, this all happened to you within what, a week's period of time?
The ghost
A
box
lot of new
sessions
experiences.
were the ghost box sessions were a while, maybe a month ago.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't have them on this new computer. Thought I did, but I can get them.
Yeah, I'd love to review those again. Really sidetrack really quick. Amy says, I should have asked Rob to come see him while he was in Cleveland. Such a fan, but no, you are a real dude, just shy. Appreciate both of you and feel a part of the show. That's awesome, Amy. We we love that you're a part of the show. And we love that you're here with us, even on these nights when they're just kind of fly by the seat of our pants shows because of whatever's going on. So thank you for staying here with us and being a part of our show, because without you, it'd just be Rob in Cleveland, stuck in 2 feet of snow, and him calling me on a Zoom call, just him and I talking. The thought of it just makes me nauseous. Uncelebrity Kevin Hart says, Josh, make your intentions for you to have similar experiences. I can tell you though, Uncelebrity Kevin Hart, I can't report any of the experiences maybe that you and Rob have had, or many people in our family here have had. But recently, in the last few months, and especially since we've been doing the Saturday shows, I have had a handful of things happen. So I'm in no shortage of experiences, if you will. Maybe not text bubbles and Blu-ray coming through my ITC sessions, but I'm having a good time. I'll tell you that. I'm having a good time. Pat, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the ITC and Paranormal Podcast. We are a family. You are now being held captive, and you have no choice. You cannot leave. You are here for good. I'm putting your name down. You are permanent, and I hand out tardy slips when you show up next time. But welcome. Thank you for joining us.
And if you're late, this is what happens.
Right. This is our Wednesday show, Pat. We usually have guests on, and we do some educational ITC paranormal talk on Wednesdays. And Saturdays is when we do live ITC sessions, which you do not want to miss the Saturday show. It is so much fun. And that is at 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Rob, Pat just walked in and I'm like, hi, here's our information. Here's what we do. Here's all the times. Sit down. You're not going anywhere. They're like, thanks. I'm going to leave now.
And Josh is.
I am the great Cornholio. I'm a gringo. I have no
Pat just says,
Josh
okay.
is a gringo.
Pat says, okay. So we'll play this one safely, Rob. Anyway, Pat, I don't know. We were talking about some unique experiences that happened to Rob this probably in the last week. And two of those experiences are having some very unique communication come through a ghost box session. Sounds that were not only very unique, but very familiar to Rob's technology that shouldn't be coming through this ghost box they were using. And he had an experience where he envisioned almost a holographic or three-dimensional text bubble that had text inside of it that appeared in front of him at this location that he had never experienced before. So those are the two things we're talking about this evening.
Yeah.
Oh, Deb says, hey guys, Julie has a question. Okay, sorry. Julie, ready for you, Julie. We
I
are
see the
ready.
question though.
Hey, Marianne, how are you? Okay, so did we miss the question, Rob? I'm scrolling, Julie. I'm trying to find your question, or maybe you
I
haven't
didn't find
posed
the
it yet.
question. I looked. Have either of you walked into a building that used to be a building
Joe?
that came to life? What?
Joe's telling me to STFU. Joe, I'm confused, but okay. You guys produced the show, so I'm going to STFU until you guys tell me to TFU. Or no, wait. DSTFU. Don't, yeah, so I'll STFU until you guys tell me to DSTFU.
No. I don't know. I have not. No. You still there, Josh? You got quiet. Can I hear you talk? You can't talk? Yes, you can. Shut the fuck up. That's okay. You don't have to shut the fuck up. You can talk as much as you want. So keep talking. Just keep talking. I'll ad lib for Josh.
I am Cornholio. I need pee for my bunghole.
You're not. Can't hear you.
Exactly. So you understand my point.
Yeah.
That's why we can never do the show again. You heard my last 3 points. You heard all that.
Right.
Right. Okay. I forget it. Let's move on. The show's reset.
All right.
Don't read what I typed.
I did.
Don't say it out loud.
No, I won't.
So, in my observations of this communication, and these are just my observations, and they need to be obviously scrutinized much, much further. We're just talking here. But from what I've seen in terms of your experiences, Rob, that you've had lately, and when I consider the fact that everyone who's on the show now, we've all communicated to some degree that we're all having these unique experiences, with or without the Saturday show. I understand that we all have these experiences. They're not reliant solely on the Saturday show. But the Saturday show seems to have contributed more energy and activity, even in our everyday lives when we're not doing the Saturday show. This
I think
communication, yeah, and the communication seems to have more of an awareness. Everything just seems to be progressing in almost every area of our efforts with ITC research.
Right.
And I'm really proud to not only see those results, but hear how everyone else is having results in their daily lives. And the fact that Roland is putting to work a lot of the experiments we're doing, he's boots on the ground. He's driving the freeways, going to the locations, overlaying those frequencies with the ghost box. I know Edward's doing a lot of great work. Everyone here who we've talked to is doing awesome research. And it really seems like a lot of things are progressing. Albeit at a pretty relatively steady pace. Things are really progressing.
No, I totally agree. And see, what we're doing now is we're doing like the Wednesday show is kind of like a recap of the Saturday show, but we also incorporate different topics into the Wednesday show. So it's a little bit more cut and dry, but
it's still technically our guest show, right? Technically.
it is.
Right.
When we do have guests, we'll bring them on. I know right now it's been a little slow.
Yeah, it's primarily because you and I are getting ransacked by the universe right now. It's just like our time. You know, we're just paying our dues for whatever reason. For whatever reason. But yeah, we're headed in a pretty solid direction. I'm excited for what you're building, and we've got some fun stuff coming up this year. And the Saturday shows are just going to get better. I mean, they just do. And so those are kind of taking themselves. We kind of let that go. That's more of a, I don't want to say an improvisational show, but we just let that one take itself. The group takes it, the group energy, the collective takes it. So Rob and I don't even plan really for the Saturday show. That just kind of takes itself.
No, and that's 100% accurate.
Right. But the Wednesday show, we try and plan, but right now too many obstacles right now. Nora says, has anything else happened at your place since the last time with the lights, Josh? You know what, Nora? This light here that's on my desk, never before that show has it blinked like that or had an issue, and never afterward. I've not only used it in my personal life off the show, but even right now it's on. I've never had it blink since. There's been no issues. I am hearing, I do get the occasional knocks. It comes in 3 groups of 3, not just 3, but 3 groups of 3, which is interesting. And I don't know if that's because of my increased time and effort into the devices I'm building. Maybe because as I put that energy into it more, it's reciprocating back to me with that equal energy or response, which a
Right.
lot of builders report. Rob has reported that. A lot of builders report, the more you work with your device, the more it seems to give back equally. So, yeah, a lot of interesting things, and probably too long and boring to talk about right now, but eventually we'll get to them. Yeah, Joe says the universe is deep. That's right, Joe. It's
Very deep.
I know exactly what you mean, quite possibly an understatement, but I know exactly what you mean.
No, absolutely. It's been crazy. I mean, it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah, it has. Oh, Ian says his name popped up in the session Saturday. Ian, I feel like I listened live to the reverse session when I was crawling home from work, barely able to keep my eyes open. But I did hear the reverse session. I feel like I've been hearing your name more than just this past Saturday. Because I know there's times when you have joined us. Now, there could be a different Ian in the group that's maybe a different Ian meant for someone else, or, there, obviously multiple Ians, but I do believe I've heard reference to you several times. But I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, no, Ian's name has definitely come through a few
Ian,
times.
I, Ian, I do not have anything flying around the house. Now, flying in terms of speed, there is, I've seen some shadow figures. I work on my little device, and I see movement out of the corners of my eyes, and never in front of me. It's always out of the peripherals.
Right.
And Rob and I are both seeing, like at night when I lay down at night, there are these, like they're purple fireworks, and they're always purple or blue, and they kind of, again, this could be me getting 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep at night. I'm not claiming to know the source or what it is, but it's very interesting.
No, absolutely.
But no, nothing
And
negative. Nothing negative.
and we don't know the source of any of this. So
I don't. Yeah,
you know,
I actually learned more from our discussions and everyone's in the chat and the
and
family
what
than I'm like, oh wow, it could be this, or thank you for bringing this up. It could be that. I like to ponder and wonder about these different theories because I certainly can't pinpoint anything. I'm not scared, and I feel
well, there's
almost
nothing. There's really nothing scary about it.
right.
It's more of a fascination. Like, what the hell is that?
When
How
it
could you?
happens, it's like, wait, is this really happening? I definitely do that typical Hollywood B movie. Like, wait, is this really happening? Am I really seeing this? Wait, I'm really seeing this.
Yeah.
So I kind of go through that sometimes, but it's just fascinating. Oh,
Yeah.
Dawn
No, I
says
mean, shadow people are real. I mean, I've experienced shadow people. Josh has experienced shadow people.
yes.
So
Hey, Rob, can you put up Dawn's comment? 210135. I'm going to go ahead and I'll jump into it. It says, I've already had paper towels jumping off the counter and going across the kitchen. Wow.
yeah, she's been reporting a lot of weird stuff
Dawn.
going on.
Wow. Right, Nora. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm definitely not surprised. Joe says he sees them all the time. Well, Joe, and you made a comment earlier that your abilities, you really started fostering them or leaning into your abilities in your 20s. Maybe that always had them, but you really started to embrace them in your 20s. So I'd imagine you've seen a lot of things since you've opened up and had your psychic abilities more prevalent in your life. He says, oh, you said you've been tugged and called names.
So, Edward, yeah, we do get Ed coming through a lot. Um, Mm, I don't remember, because when I hear Ed,
Right.
just because I had so many negative um, things happen with that spirit that kept on coming through and saying Ed, I started ignoring anytime I hear Ed. So I don't really pay attention to, like, if he says Ed and then there's something in his same voice that comes through, I kind of ignore it. I don't even listen to it anymore just because there were so many things that were negative. That's why I just kind of ignored it. Anytime, that's why I said, anytime I'd hear Ed, like a few months ago, I was like, not Ed, I'm not talking to you. And I would always say
Right.
that during this Saturday show. Don't want to hear from you, Ed. I would just blow him off. Um, just because of the earlier responses I was getting from Ed. It was always negative or blocking the little girl that was trying to come through at that time. So there was always a lot of negative connections. That's why I'm like, do I want to talk to you, Ed? Not talking to you right now. So I blow him off. So
Right.
since then, I just kind of, anytime I hear it, I just ignore it. So sorry I didn't pay attention to that. You can always go back and listen to the sessions again. I'd probably suggest that. But as far as with me, I always ignore Ed.
Now, we've talked about this before, but it does appear, and I'm very familiar with your experience with Ed, especially in your previous locations.
Right.
And they've come through your devices. When you've built devices for me, it'll come through. And a lot of times I say, "Oh, go away, Ed," and I'll get a laugh, like, ha, ha, ha,
Right.
almost an acknowledgement that, of what I'm saying. What's interesting though is over the last 2 decades, there have been a few people that have documented, including myself, that there could be a spirit tech or a tech named Ed. Now, I'm not correlating the Ed you experienced with this tech. I'm not saying it is that tech because the attitude and intention, energy feels way different, right? The Ed you're dealing with compared to what a tech that energy we would expect. But there is I believe, and I don't want to, don't quote me, but I do believe there is a tech named Ed as well.
Right.
So interesting. We don't go anywhere, chat. The chat is just flying right now. Oh, Sherry says at my old farmhouse, there was a portal and a lot of activity. So Sherry has experience with, I don't want to say things coming and going, but basically a central location at the old farmhouse where there was a portal, a lot of energy, a lot of activity. I'd be interested to see what you experienced, Sherry, if you'd like to comment on that. Hopefully nothing negative. And Joe, you said yes. I apologize. That doesn't sound like a pleasant experience, getting called names and tugged on. So for what it's worth, I apologize. That's not a good experience. Deb says, funny you should mention that. Have been since. So there's a shadow person that you believe is a tech. Is that correct, Deb? You probably typed that out fine. I'm just a moron, but help me understand that. It says, funny you should mention that. Have been sent a name to this shadow person as tech. Oh, that the shadow person I'm seeing is a tech, or the shadow person you're seeing is a tech? Let me know, Deb. Have patience with my brain, please. Thank you. Okay, Deb says correct. That would make sense because I don't feel threatened. Joe says, it's cool, bro. I live with it. Wow. Okay, here we go. Can you put up Ian's comment? It says, at Josh, if you ever decide to get curious and feel you get my name again, listen for 2 key words, Inquisitor and Templar. Then yes, that will be a connection to me. I will, Ian. I will. And those are 2 trigger words or keywords that would draw that connection. And when we talk about ITC, we talk about relevance. Because, remember, a lot of people talk about false positives still with radio-based ITC. A lot of false positives. Oh, it's just false positives. But when you think about the timing and relevance, the relevance of maybe hearing the name Ian and then hearing Inquisitor or Templar right afterward, that's not coming from a radio station, right? That's And you can't say that's audio pareidolia because that's something we deal with every single second of the day. That's a lazy excuse for ITC. Audio pareidolia exists outside of ITC sessions, people. It happens every single second of the day. So if Rob and I are talking right now and having an intelligent conversation, and he says, Josh, did you hear what I said? I can't say no because of audio pareidolia. Because the washing machine behind me is blocking the sound of what you're saying. So I can't register what you said as credible. No, we don't do that to each other. And there's no need to do that in ITC either.
Yeah.
Well, that was a jostling side rant.
All right. Happens.
Well, there you go. But anyway, Ian, we talk about relevance in ITC. So if I hear your name and I hear Inquisitor or Templar, I know that's a relevant, intelligent piece of communication that's directed or relevant to you. Right, Ian, right.
Yeah, exactly. Pareidolia can happen in everyday life.
Right.
It happens when you look up at the clouds.
Unfortunately, it's a very lazy excuse to dismiss ITC. Because if we're going to use that excuse, then communication is irrelevant as well. There's no point in having any credible conversations with anyone because, well, we're experiencing audio pareidolia every single second that we're consciously aware in this dimension.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I don't buy that excuse for ITC. Now, yes, there could be false positives, right? There is the potential for false positives depending on the equipment you use. But just dismissing this whole field as audio pareidolia or just pareidolia is just, I feel like that's just kind of a lazy excuse.
Exactly.
Hi, Trina. How are you? Do we have some? Wow, we have some. Oh boy, I need some tardy slips. I think Pat left. Pat's like, this guy's not giving me a tardy slip. I'm out of here. Marianne said, I had a couple of portals open in my basement and some huge insects appeared, or what you perceived as huge insects, huge spiders. I save every insect now and put outside. Wow, Marianne. Oh my gosh.
Nope.
Right.
I can't say I do the same thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, Joe says I scared him away. Hi, Sandy says, hi, Joe. Oh, you have an excuse, Sandy. Okay. I'd like to hear the excuse. Yeah, he was going to get scared away sooner or later. I mean, right? You can't hide us for too long. Oh, no, Chantal. It's here. Let's do this. Can you guys? There's my tie. Yep. Oh, don't these kind of, you know what? Look at the tie I'm wearing. These kind of look like extraterrestrials, right?
They look like something.
Right. Looks like something.
It looks like somebody's having a bad mushroom trip.
This is a Jerry Garcia tie. That's why there's
little
extraterrestrials on it. Yeah, see?
Nope. Somebody having a bad acid trip.
Not this guy, just having a bad Wednesday show. Tie's fine. Yeah, it looks like a Van Gogh. Yeah, who knows? Jerry Garcia ties are very just,
they're out there.
They are.
It's doing some shrooms.
Trina. Shrooms.
Right? Exactly.
Oh, thanks, Amy. Yeah, Chantal. Yeah, someone last time busted me. Like, look at him trying to be all smart and stuff.
What?
Trying to blow my cover.
No.
If you guys want to look smart, for anyone who's dressing in a shirt and tie, that's all you got to do is wear a shirt and tie. Right. Oh, Sandy's babysitting. That's what's going on. Okay. I found your comment, Sandy. Okay, you're babysitting. You get an excuse. That's okay. You get an excuse. Angelique says, well,
All
so
right.
was Jerry.
This is for Sandy.
Oh, I wasn't going to hand out a tardy slip, but you brought out the whip. Yeah, Sandy said no whip for me. So,
You know what Josh wanted to say when Chantel walked in?
don't quote me. I did not. I did not
You
say
did.
that. I
You
did
did.
not. I did not.
You did.
I did not. I did not.
He sent it to the private message.
I'm literally, I did not. You could literally post the private message if you want. Okay, you know, I'll read the private chat. It says, Joe told me to STFU. You have to tell them to DTSFU. And Rob's like, what? I'm like, DTSFU. Don't shut. Oh, wait, DST. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Don't the shut FU. Yeah, I flipped the words around. Wow. So that's what we were talking about, because Rob didn't know why I wasn't talking. So I was letting him know that as you guys are the producers of the show, Joe told me to STFU. Too late. I scared Pat away. Then I didn't talk. So anyway.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
We'll be okay. No, we won't, Rob. Nora says, aliens, I keep having them come up no matter where I am or what group. What type of ETs are we talking about?
I have no idea.
BGSTU. BGSTU.
I don't know. I'm
Big
trying
gulp.
to figure that out.
I think it's big gulp still tastes usable. I don't know. Right.
She said it means nothing. Laughed my ass off.
I'm NOP. And what other experiences were okay? Take care of that business first, and I'll ask you a question. There's a few requests for whips, so just knock them out.
Hold on.
No, I think Joe was right. Actually, Joe was right. On Celebrity Kevin Hart. This is why you guys produced the show. Joe was like, Josh, stop. You're going to scare him away. He was right. I'm sorry, guys. I admit fault. If we lost Pat, it's my fault. Joe was right.
Yeah, did Pat run away? I don't know if Pat ran away or not.
Yeah,
It was Chantel that scared him away.
He walked in the room and I handed out too many flyers to him at once. He's like, whoa, dude, I'm just looking for the bathroom. This is not, I don't want, what do you, no, I don't want any of this. So
It was
fine.
Josh when Chantel walked in.
So not my character, but okay. Won't play along. won't play along. Well, what are we, here's the bottom. Rob, here's my question. Saturday show.
I am the great Cornholio. I'm a gringo. I have no bunghole. Bunghole for you.
There's a philosophical question there because he indeed does have a bunghole, and him looking for toilet paper alleges he has a bunghole. So there's a paradox there of he needs TP for his bunghole, but he has no bunghole. It's an interesting predicament that might require serious philosophical debate. But we're not going to do that on this show. We'd like to do that on Saturdays. What I was going to ask, in terms of sessions, I know you ran the forward session on Saturday. Oh, that's right. You may be in, who knows? You'll be on an airplane Saturday. So the next Saturday show, the next sessions we do, let's get a plan together. Maybe the sessions we want to run ahead of time. Because I know that there's a lot of requests. And sometimes it can bottleneck the Saturday show because so many people want so many different, there are so many modes now. I guess that's what I'm saying is maybe we could talk about that beforehand.
I don't
So
know.
you're hitting the table in disgust
No.
or frustration?
No, I mean, it's just because I'm thinking, like, I guess we can do, I don't know. I mean, I just went back to the old school. That was my intent. You know what? We're gonna go back to when we first started doing this. So that's why I wanted to go to reverse and to forward, just for old time's sake. That's why I did it.
It is a great contrast having forward and reverse. It really provides perspective on reverse. And
Right.
there is an interesting, well, I'll speak for myself. When I go back to forward sessions and I do run equipment here, or like what I heard on the Saturday show, my ear seems to be a little bit more surgical with hearing genuine responses compared to maybe what one would describe as a false positive. I feel like the communication is a little more obvious when I listen to the forward sessions again. After everything we've done, kind of coming back to the original method, I feel much more seasoned as an ITC operator or observer with the forward sessions. Just what I've observed of myself.
Yes, Sandy, I'm freezing blue balls. I literally got blue balls and they're frozen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're going to be frozen, all right. You better get to Orlando quick.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I
Okay.
think I'll be content here.
Bye, Chantal. Thank you. Chantal says, gotta go adult now because we ain't adulting here.
All right, Chantel, we got a little departing gift for you. Now move along.
Yeah. Edward says, had anyone tried using an alias, etc., when doing ITC, such as Mortis the Wizard? No idea what opinions of his work are. I've considered using the secret name I took during my rebirth in high school. Edward, that's a very
good idea.
Good question. Mortis is legit. He does amazing work. I've seen quite a few, at least the 12587 sessions. Fantastic responses. He's very well known in the ITC community for getting amazing responses and doing amazing work. The idea of using a alias, I do like that. I feel like at this point it may not make a difference because no matter what name you're consciously thinking of or what alias you go by, if you're talking about if they will call you by that alias or they will know that without you telling anyone, they will. I have code words that I've never told anyone that I only keep to myself. Only keep to myself. They repeat all the time. And they're words that don't make any sense. They're words that you wouldn't find or say necessarily, right? Cute family nicknames of words moshed together, right? The words that don't even really exist in that sense. And those code names have been said to me many times. So whether you're looking for an alias just to practice ITC, to stay out of the public eye, I think that's okay. Or if you're looking for a code word or alias that they could use to test or do an experiment, I think both are a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Edward says he in the comments on his vids led me to you. They already did once for sure. I know of Mortis the Wizard through his work. I don't know that he definitely doesn't know who I am. I'm a nobody. He might know Rob. Rob has been doing this for a very long time. So I think you might know Mortis, Rob.
Yeah, I've known Mortis for a few years now.
Okay.
Wow, so he directed you to our show, Edward, for his comments?
Yeah, and if anyone, I don't think I have to tell you who he is because he's very well known, but if you want to see some excellent ITC work and some sessions and research, please look up Mortis the Wizard. I don't know if he has any other channels where he goes by different names, Rob.
Some of his later videos I know people get turned off by because he wears like a He's always in disguise. He will never show his face.
That's so. I, that's fine. The research is
Yeah.
amazing. You know,
Right.
results and the responses are amazing. I mean, I'm wearing a tie. Who cares? You know,
Yeah.
what does it matter?
I mean, he
Matter what you're
wears like
wearing.
a ski mask.
I love it.
And then he does use a voice disguising box. So people get a little turned off by that, but he's doing that for a reason.
I understand. Well, he's smart because, unlike us, that display our stupidity to the world freely, he's actually keeping some what do you want to say? Animate. Oh boy, here we go with those words I can't say. And he's remaining anonymous. He's remaining anonymous. And
Anonymous?
anonymous, but never mind. It's Red Bull in the cup, guys. It's ice and Red Bull. I'm just this
I
stupid.
know what you're trying to say, but no, I get it.
Anonymous and I can spell. I'm really good at spelling. There's certain words I can't say. Anonymity. He's remaining anonymous. He's remaining anonymous. That's all that you need to know. Check out Mortis the Wizard.
Well, and so there's a background to why people stay anonymous in the ITC field.
Thank you, Julie.
And that started back 6 years ago, Josh, maybe. Why people started becoming anonymous was about 6 years ago when
Right.
all that stuff went down.
Right when you and I started going public, yes, everyone started going underground.
Yeah. And
no, it's true.
and
It's true.
because there was a big fallout in the ITC community. Anyway, that's just backstory.
Right. No, and I understand.
And back when all of this first started, Mortis used to wear the plague doctor costume.
Kevin.
If you ever watch any of his intros, he's wearing a plague doctor costume and walking
Right.
through his intros, amazing. Then he did a mantra. He did a mantra to his intro, but the mantra is amazing. I've used that in some early sessions that I've done when I first started working with ghost boxes, and that mantra got me some amazing results. But when you use a mantra, you have to use intent with that mantra. So it's a big ritual that you have to go through. There's a lot of meditation. There's a lot of concentration, using your intent with the concentration, and also doing meditation. So it's a process, and you have to just repeat it for several minutes, and that's basically how you start. And setting that intent is just what causes everything to happen.
So, to be very clear about this, do you believe, I'm not asking you to prove anything, but do you believe that this is one of the reasons Mortis the Wizard is so successful with his ITC sessions, is partly because of the intent and the energy and the preparation prior to?
I think anybody that does serious ITC research, it takes time. You're not always going to get great sessions. It doesn't always happen. But if you're consistent, like what we do on Saturday, we're consistent. We do it every Saturday, same time. We start about the same time every Saturday. We have that intent. We have the group. We have the circle. So everything, all those pieces, and kind of help with what we're doing. But anyway, but yeah, with Mortis, when he was wearing his plague doctor masks and doing his ghost box sessions and talking about ITC, and that was amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Then once he took that plague doctor mask on, and then he just started wearing a ski mask, there was a lot more. I'm not going to even get started. I mean, there's
No, sure.
because I mean, I there was a lot of things that happened, and I get why he did that. So,
Right.
and I totally have nothing but respect for him, and I just love his
Yeah.
work. Period.
Yeah. There's a few people that I've seen, especially the Radio Shack 12587. It's one of my favorite Radio Shack radios. I don't want to get into that now. It just is. The work that Eric Van Leer, our mutual friend, your very good friend, I know you've known him for a long time, and Mortis the Wizard have done with the 12587 really blow me away.
Right.
Full sentence, clear, full sentence communication. 6, 7, 8 words, just, and that radio, for so many reasons, technically, I love that radio on a technical basis. But yeah, he elicits some amazing responses. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that his radio of choice? I mean, he primarily focuses around that, and I get it because AM and FM are both winners in my book with that radio. They're just fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so please, and Deb just said he checked him out. Check out his work, you guys. He uses 12587, other devices as well, but he's done a lot of research and has some great sessions. Mortis the Wizard. Look him up.
Oh my god. Hold on one second. Let me look up some. I'm trying to find.
And that's a good point brought up in chat. That does bring up a good point when we talk about intent and the preparation we put into prior to the ITC session. We've talked about that. We've seen that evidentiary on the Saturday show, the intent and the energy put into the show and the results that we get. And you look at something that Mortis the Wizard, or a lot of us use, the 12587 radio. And a lot of people in the paranormal, I don't want to single anyone out, but a lot of people think they need the $1,800 radio or the $2,500 radio or the amazing boutique ghost box. And those are nice to have. They are. And I have a lot, Rob has a lot, because we're passionate about this and it's what we really love. But you don't need those wildly expensive devices or the bells and whistles. You take a Radio Shack radio like this and listen to the communication that someone like Mortis the Wizard or Eric Van Leer, or maybe someone I'm not even mentioning, with a Radio Shack, a Shack Hack or Radio Shack radio, you can get incredible responses through those devices. Consistently too. Yeah, Purple, let the work stand for itself. It's just a word that I can't pronounce, comfort zone for him, I suppose. And anonymity. I'm college educated and I can't say certain words. This is unbelievable.
God, I can't even remember. I can't think of his name right now. There's somebody else that uses a 587. And I was trying to look for
Eric. Dude, Eric pulls down some crazy stuff through that radio. I've witnessed some just jaw-dropping communication come through it. I mean, radio stations cutting out for 4, 5, 6 seconds at a time. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the radio station cutting out for that amount of time and breakthrough communication coming in. Full sentence communication. Incredible. Okay, let's address this, Rob. Amanda's brought this up, and I believe Sherry did earlier. Apologize, you guys. Is there a Saturday show this Saturday, Rob? People are wanting to know.
I'm not sure yet. It's a possibility, but I'm not sure. It all depends on the travel. I mean, for me to, I'm going to have a time adjustment I'm going to have to get used to. And it's always easier for me coming from the East Coast or the West Coast to the East Coast, but going the opposite, it always screws me up. I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Just being honest, I do not know.
just to let anyone know, and for Pat, if Pat ever comes back, I'm so sorry, Joe. Joe is gonna. Oh God, I don't want this show to end. Joe's gonna read me a new one. Oh my gosh, it's like the director of the school dressing down one of the teachers. He's gonna rip me a new one. I'm sorry, Joe. But for anyone that is new, this Saturday, 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do live ITC sessions. We're gonna let you know about this Saturday. Keep your notifications on YouTube. Turn them on. We don't mean to put the burden on you and make you wait last minute for notification. We understand that's not the proper thing to do. But in this unique situation, Rob is jumping around the country, literally trying to find a flight home to Los Angeles. And Rob has the keys to the treasure chest, if you will, in terms of devices on his computer to run the Saturday show. So Rob is the main catalyst for this. So if Rob gets back in time and is feeling good, we'll do it. If not, we'll put it off. But normally plan on a Saturday show, you guys. Normally plan on a Saturday show.
Yeah, it's just because I have to catch a plane at. So if it's at, I'm just trying to do the math. So it would be like 4:00 in the morning, West Coast time. And then I don't get back for, until late morning. Then I'll have to drive, and I'm just going to be tired. I don't know.
You could technically just start the session and I could talk. If you had to like put your head down and take a nap, I don't know. I'm just, I
mean, that's always an option, but that's for me to be
just take a nap.
Almost a full day.
Yeah.
And trying to get through a show. It might be a little difficult. I might try, but we'll see.
Okay.
That's why I didn't do it the Saturday before on the 22nd. I did message Josh. I was drunk. I was drunk off my ass. And I was like, come on, Josh, let's just do the show.
Yeah, I was at work. I was leaving in 20 minutes, mentally checked out, right? Mentally just like, okay, we're not doing a show. I can just be my normal self and just go home and do whatever. And Rob's like, we're doing a show in 20 minutes. It's like, oh, wow. Because that's a whole, it's midnight all day with the kids, go to work. And then now we got to do a show and channel ETs. I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have the energy to channel ET right now. It's just, it takes so much energy. So I'm kind of glad you postponed on that, Rob, because mentally I wasn't there either.
Yeah.
So Sherry is new here. Okay, so Sherry, Rob doesn't need to be on the West Coast, but technically this is headquarters, if you will. Los Angeles right now is kind of headquarters where we both are, and we do the show out of Los Angeles. So that is Rob's goal to get back here. Most of your studio's here, your equipment's here.
Yeah, so right now I'm stuck in Cleveland, trying to catch a flight back to LA, but flights are going to be canceled probably for the next 2 days. So I might have to just leave on Saturday. So that's why the Saturday show might be in jeopardy depends on how the day goes and how tired I am. I haven't slept really. Last 2 days, I really did sleep. I've been up since.
Oh, thank you, Purple.
I've been almost up for 24 hours. I woke up at.
Wow. You're doing
3
good.
o'clock in the morning, and I haven't been back to sleep. So
you look like you just hit the gym. I mean, you look wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. Is that the expression? But you look good. Yeah. I mean, you don't look like you've been up for 24 hours.
Yeah. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll be up for 24 hours.
Sherry's in Michigan. Okay, so you've got snow issues as well. So yeah, Sherry, we really want you to join us on a Saturday show. I am not exaggerating when I tell you it is straight magic. Saturday is unbelievable. It's a completely different experience in this show. Normally we have guests on the show, but Saturday we run live ITC sessions. The group energy is unmatched. It is just unbelievable. We have amazing sessions. The intention is amazing. We come from a place of love. We are trying to obviously reach our loved ones if that's possible. And we believe we're receiving communication from possibly extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, our higher selves, our subconscious. Join us so we can help figure this out or ask better questions. We want you there Saturday, 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is Michigan is 2:45. You're 3 hours. We're 3 hours behind. Well, Michigan, is that Midwest though? Is that 2 hours?
Michigan, I think,
It's
is
two.
it's two.
3? It could be
Two.
2. So Sherry,
Two.
that might be 1:45 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
And Sherry, join us and bring questions with you. Bring questions with you. We ask them during the live sessions. We listen for responses and we discuss it as a group. Central Standard Time. Thank you, Ian.
Yep.
Yeah, and Deb makes a very remarkable point. Sherry, our group, our family is around the world. We're international. We're actually interdimensional. Our show spans the universe, apparently. So we have just an enormous reach, and we've had some amazing results with people located literally around the world. So please join us. Julie says you should have done it. Oh, Trina says, yes, it was awesome. Thank you, Trina, for remarking on that. Oh, Joe says Chicago has the snow also. Yeah. Yeah. For anyone who's caught in the storm or even close by it, keeping you in my thoughts, because for many reasons, safety, health, and because it's just 2 feet of snow.
You know who else does great sessions is Riley. He's on YouTube. I'm trying to think of his channel.
Hi, Joni. How are you? Yes, the show will be streamed to Facebook, the Pair Awakenings Facebook and YouTube, and I believe Live Paranormal's Facebook as well. But please join us. YouTube, I believe, doesn't really censor our show or give us any issues. Facebook sometimes doesn't like our show because of my co-host. But anyway, yeah, so join us on YouTube if you can.
So I was just trying to look.
I don't think you heard me.
I did.
Oh, okay. I thought I snuck one in there.
No. What you trying to do, Joshua?
Oh, Edward says Afterlife Research commented on one of his vids, and that mentioned the RTC2. That's how I found you guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah, love that circuit. Yeah, so Joni, I'm probably repeating myself, but I can't repeat it enough. 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can make it Saturday, that's when we run live ITC sessions, and it's amazing. Just give me 10 minutes. Just show up 10 minutes, and you'll never leave. You'll always come back. It's amazing. Purple says we can run psychic experiments or whatever, ITC Pictionary. That would be fun to experiment with that, Purple. Yeah. That's right, Purple. There's no borders. Exactly. There doesn't seem to be any limitations. Okay, so Jody, you're Eastern Standard Time, so that would be, oh boy, it's late. It's 2:45 a.m.
2:45 a.m. And that's when I had to start the show last weekend, 2:45 a.m.
But for Joni, you're actually experiencing the true intent of the show. The show is called Live 3 a.m. ITC Sessions. So we'll be running these sessions with people around the world in different time zones, with you on the East Coast at 2:45 a.m. And you can ask a question if there's a loved one that's crossed over, or you just have a general question you want to put out to the ether or put out to them. Rob will read the question, we'll get the response and talk about it. And we've just had amazing responses and experiences on that show. So please join us. I know it's late.
It is late.
Yeah, everyone stay safe. There's a big storm coming. So anyone in the path of that storm, please be safe.
All right. So I think we're going to call it.
Yeah,
almost.
Thank you. Yeah, it's about that time. Rob's going to go. What are you going to go do? Like drop plates down the elevator shaft, or do you have anything you can go do right now? Or boy, that was a specific. Yeah, never mind. I've never done that before.
No, I mean, this just reminds me of a hotel that the 19th floor was abandoned, and I went up and found my way in. and I was lucky to find a way out because all the doors were locked.
Right.
That was fun.
Well, stay safe. I know there's snow coming, and we will, again, everyone, normally we'll have a Saturday show. We'll be more responsible to give you a heads up, but this Saturday's still up in the air. Just stay tuned with us. We'll try and spread the word, and we'll let you know about this Saturday. But after that, we'll be back on track, normal Saturday shows for live ITC sessions.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. And yeah, thank you for the safe travel comments. I'll be fine. Yeah, I'm going to be listening to people having sex in the next room. Hey, that's what I got my cup for. I got my little glass. I'm ready.
Joe, thanks for going easy on me. I appreciate it. I'll be better next time. I won't scare our guests. I'm going to let you guys welcome guests next time. I'm not going to say anything.
Anyway, all right. Well,
love you guys.
Will...
See you Saturday, but definitely see you next Wednesday.
Yep, definitely. All right, everybody. See you guys.
Good night.